Okay, good morning or good evening as appropriate. Thanks very much for your interest in joining us at NC State. This is a master's briefing. What we're going to do is I'm going to have a presentation followed by a panel of past and present students. Oops. Okay, so this is the presentation part. There'll be time for questions at the end as well. By the way, this is our main building on Centennial, what's called Centennial Campus, and you can see that it's a very spacious campus. But it's still only a couple of miles from downtown Raleigh. Okay, as I said, this is the a briefing on our master's programs. I'm Paul Franzom. I'm Director of Graduate Programs at the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at NC State. This is our admissions email, and this is my email if you have any follow-on questions. Just briefly, we're a large department with over 60 faculty pursuing over 200 funded research projects. We're a very rich graduate curriculum with over 110 distinct graduate classes. And I'll be talking about the classes in a little bit. And we've achieved excellent outcomes. This is 2022 data from alumni over their career, indicating their median and top 10% annual incomes for the master's graduates and PhD graduates. For those of you who are not familiar with North Carolina State University, this is where North Carolina is in the United States. It's on the East Coast. We're about midway between the ocean and the mountains. Both are 2 to 4 hours away, depending exactly where you're going, and provide a lot of recreation activity. We're in what's called Research Triangle area. The Research Triangle is a triangle of us, the largest institution in the state, with UNC and Duke. We're the lead engineering institution in the state. These three campuses form a triangle around Research Triangle Park, which is a high-tech center with lots of opportunities for our graduates, including sites for Apple and Nvidia, IBM, and Qualcomm, and so forth. So this is a nice site to be an engineer, a nice place to live as well. A lot of people move here each year. Our student body, we have about 300 PhD students, about 500 master's students, and about 950 bachelor's students. So as I'm pausing, I'm still admitting people to the meeting. This is a picture graph of what we do in the department. Each photograph here is from a research project within the department. These aren't generic photos off the web. Our research programs and our teaching spans chip design, autonomous systems, machine learning, biomedical assistance, smart grid renewables, communications, UAVs, 5G and 6G, wide bandgap semiconductors. This is actually a transformer, for example, computing, quantum computing, and enabling technologies. So we have courses and research projects in all of these areas. We have two engineering research centers based on campus. One's main mission is focused on wearable medical aids. Another one is focused on power delivery in the next generation of renewable energy. We have a microelectronics commons hub on campus. This is a large activity that's from the CHIPS Act, if you've heard of that. And we have a center to deal with wide bandgap semiconductors, design and use thereof, and fabrication. Other centers on campus include Power America, the Center for Advanced Electronics and Machine Learning, which I'm the site director, a Power IUCRC, an airport, which has got to do with the intersection of advanced communications and UAVs. We're a member of the IBM Q Hub, which gives us access to IBM's quantum machines, and we're a member of the Institute for Robust Quantum Simulation, which is a multi-site research program. Infrastructure centers include the nanofabrication facility where we build chips. Oops, sorry. And a lot of faculty have their own individual research at labs as well, which are listed and named here. In terms of research standing, there's a couple of quantitative measures of graduate programs, particularly PhD programs, and research standing. One is Scholar GPS, which is a purely 100% quantitative. It's got to do with citations and publications and things like that. And we're 18th in the United States in this ranking. It's also the Shanghai ranking, which is a measure of prizes, key papers, and key journals. And we are 13th in the world in the Shanghai ranking. So I'm just going to mute a few people. In terms of graduate programs, we have graduate certificates, which are 4 courses. We have master's degrees, which are 10 courses in computer engineering, computer networking, electrical engineering, and electrical power systems engineering, and online versions of each of these. We also have 2 PhD programs in computer engineering and electrical engineering. Turning to the master's program, we have the non-thesis track, which over 90% of students are in the non-thesis track. And we have the thesis track. You switch to the thesis track if you find a suitable project with a suitable advisor. In the non-thesis track, you do 10 graded courses. One can be an independent study. At least 7 of these have to be ECE courses. And you take 5 courses in your major, computer engineering or electrical engineering. 3 breadth courses from other topics and 1 depth course. In the thesis track, you replace 2 of those courses with thesis research. And as I said, students can convert to the thesis track after you find a willing supervisor. But because of all the projects we have available in our courses, most students take the non-thesis track. As I said, we have over 110 distinct graduate classes. Uh, a number of these are what are called special topics classes, which come and go. The rest of them are permanently listed on our curriculum. I won't go through this list. What I will do is talk about some of the courses that are popular course classes with our master's students. In computer engineering, and by the way, it's relatively easy to switch between computer engineering and electrical engineering if you need to do so. In computer engineering, we have ASIC design verification, set of courses. In fact, we're the only university in the country with 2 verification courses, which is a big jobs area. We have courses in computer architecture and GPU architecture and programming, embedded computing, multiple courses in networking and Internet of Things. This course also related to cloud computing. Our computer architecture faculty also teach courses on compilers, operating systems, and algorithms, and courses that are cross-listed with computer science, particularly in algorithms and ML and AI courses, are common targets for our students as well. In electrical engineering, popular clusters include analog and RF. We have a very good set of analog and RF design courses. Machine learning in ECE. Our neural networks course is a very popular course that students take from all over campus. And we have advanced machine learning courses as well, LLMs and so forth. Bioelectronics, including neural interfaces, is related to the ECE Center. And communications and signal processing. Another very popular cluster is power electronics and systems, which course spans that, including a growing emphasis on wide bandgap semiconductor power devices and circuits enabled by such devices. Solid state and photonics, and mechatronics and robotics. Recently, we introduced a tape-out class. This allows students to have very more unique individual design experiences. Our first tape out class, this is where they actually build and tape out a chip, and they get it back the next semester and measure it. The first tape out class is going right now with 20 students in it. We tend to expand this class to over 50 next year. And again, this provides an individual, unique design experience. Some current projects include interfaces, RISC-V cores, and projects to do with RFID and near-field coupling. Here's a slide summarizing the Masters in Electrical Power System Engineering, or EPSI program. Uh, this program, what is unique about it is a hands-on experience, a capstone project consisting of two courses, which are practicums, which covers a very wide range of topics of interest to our power systems engineers. Computer networking is a joint program with the Department of Computer Science. Uh, and the structure of the computer networking program is take nine credits in these subjects, then at least 3 credit hours in supporting theory classes, as well as some depth requirements and the course graduate orientation. We also invest in soft skills development. We have a career services office dedicated to our department. This supports bachelor's, master's, and PhD students, as well as in the College of Engineering. There's a number of programs related to, particularly to the PhD programs, and the graduate school runs a number of soft skills programs as well. It's important to develop your skills with networking, resume preparation, interview skills, and so forth. And we do a lot of that within the department. And a lot of that is focused on our master's students. Here's some recent data on employment of our graduates. Last year in summer 23, reported that what we do is survey graduates. A lot of them don't answer it, but we try to collect the data ourselves from LinkedIn and so forth. Uh, by early summer last year, 83% had found a position. And these are the average pays within the different degree clusters for those positions. And as I mentioned, we occasionally do a survey of all alumni. And this was done in 2022 for our program review. And this was the data for the median and the top 10% earnings of our master's and PhD graduates. These are companies that hired from our graduate programs last year, sorted by hiring volume. You can see the name brand companies here, AMD, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, Intel, Apple, Qorvo's an RF company, Analog Devices, Renaissance is an analog company, and Cirrus Logic, which is mixed signal. And as well, Qualcomm, Meta, and others, Google, Meta, and others also recruit on campus. This location of our graduates, taken from a survey, a recent alumni survey. 20% of our graduates are in Northern California, which shows and about 10% are in Texas. This shows the national appeal of the graduates from our program to employers from all around the country. We have the largest career fairs in the Southeast, and these are even attended by other universities nearby to us. And this is an indicator of how employers come to a place like NC State, or particularly come to NC State to recruit from our masters.
I only got 5 hours.
Oh, Paul, you're muted.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Are there any questions before we turn to our panel run by Sarah Consini, who's also our Director of the Employment Office?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Sahishna here. So I have gotten an admit from NCSU in electrical engineering, masters in electrical engineering. But according to the course curriculum that you have shown, VLSI comes under computer engineering, and I am interested in VLSI. So is there any chance to switch or?
Yes. It's since you've already accepted if you already accepted the admission to the electrical engineering, please go ahead and just join us on that basis. And it's very easy to switch after one semester here, as long as you're achieving at least a B average. It's just one simple form, and you switch to computer engineering. And it's very common to do so for the reason you just described.
Okay, so I will not be able to take VLSI since the beginning, is it?
Oh, yes, you will. You just take what you want to take. We have no restrictions on our courses. We have no core courses. Your specialty does not dictate which courses you take. You just start taking courses as if you were a computer engineer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sam. That's a very common question. In fact, probably the most common question I get. Are there any other
Hello.
questions, please? Yes. Yes. Anshima?
Yeah, hi. I have one question. Firstly,
Uh,
uh,
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. Would you mind typing your question in the chat?
good good
Um,
morning, and thank you for the.
uh,
Yeah,
Oh, I might want some privacy for that. A couple of questions in the chat. While answering, could you please type your question in the chat? I'm having trouble hearing you. You're very broken. Will the tape out class be available to master's computer engineering students? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Um,
Hi, Paul. So it was me who actually asked that question regarding the tape-out classes. So how is it going to be? Is it like, will I be able to, is it an add-on course or how is it the tape-out class? Could you just like briefly explain that
the tape
for the
out
computer
class is a
engineering?
regular class. You enroll in it like you enroll in any other class. At the moment, we do have a restriction on the number of students in the tape out class because the first time around we didn't want to be overly crowded in the class. We plan to expand that in the second semester. The tape out class is one of the few classes we have that does restrict the number of students. In general, we don't have restrictions on the number of students except for the classroom size. And even there, we work with the registration records to make sure all the students who want to take a class are fit. The tape out class is also bounded by the number of tape out sites we have, which will be growing next year. Um,
Got it, got it. So do you have any prerequisites that are required before we can take the class or how is it?
to take the tape out class, you must take a design class, ASIC or analog circuit design or power electronics design.
Okay, that answers it. Thank you.
Which companies typically hire graduates from the master's degree in power systems and in what functions? Um, uh, uh, I don't have data on that, but my understanding is includes companies like ABB, which does research in power systems, is a big employer. There's a number of companies that service the power industry, like ABB, around here that employ our graduates. Sarah, do you have any additional information on that?
Yes, absolutely. You can reach out. I can provide data on, power systems companies. Quanta comes to mind, smaller company, local, Duke Energy, larger, and then all the utilities. We have startups, several of them in in Northern California, that hire our power systems graduates. I have a long list if you'd like, so I can put my email in the chat, and you're welcome to drop me a note.
Thanks, Sarah. How are students selected for the tape out class? Is it first come or first served? It's not first come, first served. We do go through a process based on your grades achieved in the feeder classes to decide on, and we also try to balance the class as well between analog and digital designers. How does registration for classes for incoming masters students start? When does it start? Registration actually, I think it's already started. But there's plenty of space. New students register once they've officially admitted to the program, typically over summer, and there's been no problems with that. Ginger, do you feel free to add to that if you want?
Yeah, I put in the chat the enrollment opens like March 26th, 27th. You'll get an enrollment time there depending after you pay your enrollment fee. So you have to pay your enrollment fee to get an enrollment time, and it'll start at the end of March and then it'll continue all the way through August.
I received a decision letter for Masters of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Can I choose any of the three streams? We do have concentrations, but they don't dictate what you can enroll in. They're just for guidance purposes, so you can get the outcomes you want from us. We have no requirements as to what beyond just 5 courses in your major, which is computer engineering or electrical engineering, and the breadth and depth requirements. Are graduate assistantships available to master's students? Uh, Typically, after the first semester here, you can apply for graduate assistantships. We have a number of teaching assistant slots. Research assistantships are up to individual professors to select. Are all master's students non-thesis by default? If so, how does one typically go about getting a suitable supervisor? Yes, you're non-thesis by default. You find a suitable supervisor by talking to people you take classes with, and a number of students convert to MS thesis projects after taking a class with a professor and working with that professor. Ginger, thank you for answering the questions. Does it happen that courses get filled up before April 1st week? Uh, Even if the course indicates that it's full, we have mechanisms to add people to the class until the classroom is physically full. So this it typically is not a problem. Can you speak how NC State stands from other graduate EE programs like Georgia Tech? Um, I recently did a comparison with A&M, and what I saw was we were significantly richer in our design and verification classes. And particularly that I haven't done that such a comparison with Georgia Tech, at least recently. But my understanding is that we're the only university in the country with verification using UVM as a class, and with verification using System Verilog is relatively rare. I don't believe Georgia Tech has such a class. Uh, in addition, in wide bandgap, we're also very unique. As we are in a number of specific areas as well.
Paul, I think the proximity to RTP, Silicon Valley of the East, if you will, and other, companies right here on our physical campus. The other parts of the campus that you couldn't see from Dr. Franzon's graphic there is actually corporate headquarters, corporate offices located and mixed in right with our academic buildings. The engineering research centers that he mentioned, as well as the additional centers and opportunities, really attract both a lot of corporate interest as well as a lot of research opportunities for our students. Maybe different from other universities you're considering.
Thanks very much, Sarah. A lot of questions about getting admitted to classes. Classes don't typically fill up straight away in electrical engineering, so there's time to get your credentials and pay the enrollment fee and join. A lot of people don't pay the enrollment fee until June, and don't have problems getting into classes. Ginger answered that. You got this, Anshuman, I received a decision letter from Masters of Science on campus electrical and computer engineering. You should have received a decision letter for one of our programs, not both of them, both of the core programs. But like I said, you can switch between them and it doesn't impact which courses you start. You can also switch to computer networking as well after you start here. And again, you just come, enroll in the courses you want to enroll in, and we will convert you after your first semester here. Thank you. Okay, so at this point, I'll hand it over to Sarah, who's organised a panel for some with some current and past students. Thanks so much, Sarah, for doing this.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Panelists, if you want to join us on camera, there we are. There's Maria. Chirag, good morning or evening, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And then is Vedant here? There he is. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for joining. Um, Another thing while our panelists are getting comfortable on camera and comfortable with their microphones and things like that, to tell you students is that beyond myself, Dr. Yu, and Dr. Franz on the UC present, you have Caitlin Godfrey, Master's Career Coaching directly, providing career coaching services to master's students specifically. You have an entire graduate office of 4 professionals dedicated to supporting your success in the graduate program. So that's 5 additional people. So 8 staff members dedicated to ensuring your success in your program. So as far as when you think about other programs and how we might stand apart, the support you get, I think is really, I of course am biased, but is exceptional, and provides a lot of support and things you need to get through this program. So as you're thinking about those options and looking at programs, be mindful of that. All right, panelists, if you're ready to jump off mute, let's go ahead. We'll just do a couple questions this morning so we can allow any other time for additional questions from our audience. But if you want to start, I think I'll just call out Maria, if you want to get us started, introduction, so name, graduation year, date, maybe internship roles and things you've done, major, that kind of thing.
Everyone, I'm Maria Stubendick. This is my 3rd semester of 4 for my electrical engineering master's degree. I'm also working on the renewable electric energy system certificate concurrently with that. And I'll be graduating in December. Last summer, I interned for an engineering consultant that's headquartered out of Raleigh, but based all over the country. And I was working on their renewable teams, designing large-scale utility farms, PV farms.
Awesome. Chirag, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I'm Chirag. I'm going to be graduating from NC State in this May of 2025. And I'm currently a second year master's student that is in my 4th semester of the computer engineering program. And I've previously worked over the summer at Qualcomm as a modem ASIC design intern. And currently I'm working as a RISC-V CPU RTL intern at Tenstorrent. It's basically a startup that build high performance RISC-V CPUs.
Awesome. Are you remote or on site this semester, Chirag?
I'm on site. I'm in Santa Clara now. It's like really early. So
Ooh.
yeah.
I thought you were in Austin. My goodness. Well, thank you very much. We'll send some coffee your way. Oh my goodness. All
Thank you.
right. Vedant, how about you?
Hello everyone. Thanks for this opportunity and congrats to all of you. You got the admits. So I'm Vedant Deshpande. So I have graduated recently in the last fall semester. So I completed my degree in 3 semesters, and right now I have started my full-time job at NVIDIA at their headquarters in California. So good morning.
Man, I didn't know I did this to all 2 of the 3 of you. Man, never mind about it being early for Maria and me. All right. Well, thanks for trucking along with us. We'll go backwards through. Vedant, walk us through maybe key highlights for you of your academic journey. Maybe 2 or 3 things there, and then maybe most meaningful experience in your master's program. Let's put those questions together. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, I would like to quickly summarize my academic journey. So most of you are international student and you can like correlate to my journey. It will be very much similar. So I completed my undergrad in India in the field of electronics and telecom, got the foundations in the electronics, programming, digital design. Later on, I decided to work to gain the practical insights and experience for a couple of years. And then I decided in this era of AI to build this certain skill set and like solidify my foundations. Thus, I chose to get into the NC State because, as you have seen in the presentation, it offers multiple varieties of the courses, different kind of specializations. So that literally helped me to learn the things that I really wanted to, and the skills that I acquired in this entire 4.5 years, I could utilize that to get the internship and perform there. Right now, after getting the internship, I'm working with NVIDIA as a full-time employee. So this was all about my the journey, a quick glimpse of it. Uh, yeah, regarding the meaningful experience at NC State, definitely I would like to start with very first thing, that is the being part of the healthy atmosphere. That's very important for anyone, which fosters the learning, growth, and collaboration. So, as an international student, adapting to the new system was a challenge, but you get along with it if you have a very strong environment around you. At NC State, we have a very nice industry relevant curriculum, which is going to help you to get the real world skills. We also have a very nice set of professors who are going to guide us throughout this journey, and the strong alumni network. And NC State has a legacy, and you are going to be part of that legacy. So we will be part of all this together. NC State offers other things as well. So we have very nice a panel set up to guide you on the career front, to gain the soft skills. So it will definitely help you all to push your boundaries and get out of the comfort zone. So this is the main highlight, being part of the very healthy atmosphere, and that was the most meaningful experience I would like to reiterate over here.
Uh, Thank you so much. We did not pay him to say any of those nice things. Just want you to know that that's from his own feedback. Tarag, how about you? Your academic journey and meaningful experience?
Yeah, sure. I kind of finished my undergraduate from India in a city called Bangalore, and I graduated in 2022. And then I went on to work for Texas Instruments for about a year and a half as an analog layout engineer. TI is a great company, and given a chance, you could definitely start your career there. But I just felt like I was not learning a lot in that role, and I didn't feel the role was for me. So then I ended up, deciding that I would do my master's and kind of switch to something I really like doing. So I think August 4th, 2023 is when I took my first flight outside the country, a 24-25 hour long flight to the US. And I started my started my semester in fall 23. And my focus has been on digital design verification and computer architecture. And I've kind of worked for two employers in the US now, that is Qualcomm and Tenstorrent. And yeah, so that has been my academic journey. And coming to my most meaningful experiences, I think in classroom, it's definitely going to be working on the course projects, because I have honestly never done projects at this scale where you're not just, for example, you're not just writing RTL code, you're actually writing efficient RTL code free of synthesis errors and whatnot. And you'll be using like really industry standard tools, and then you'll actually be understanding how they work, what the flows are, and everything. So I think working on projects is definitely one of my most meaningful experiences. And then as Vedant mentioned, I think also the support systems are very good here. I think coming to the career front, and with respect to academics, with respect to co-curriculars, everything is great out there. And then I'd like to really reiterate on what Vedant told about NC State's reputation. Like, so I myself have heard my managers and managers from other teams tell that that they really like coming and hiring from NC State, because they get really good output from here, and a lot of us joining from here do like really good work for them, and we end up working for them for long times. Outside classroom, I think the most meaningful for me would be like NC State has a lot of co-curricular activities. Like we have Packapalooza, we have Howl and Run, which is basically like a midnight a run at night, and then there's like a DJ party in the end. And yeah, there are a lot of these events which I myself should have attended more. But yeah, that is one thing you definitely enjoy. And I also enjoyed working part time on campus. I mean, like we are looking to get into a technical program, and yeah, sure, we would want to get technically strong. But I think these part times have like really shaped me as a person who I am. And it's brought me different soft skills that for example, like talking confidently today is because of I had to sell memberships at the college gym and stuff. So yeah, I think those were my most meaningful experiences.
Awesome. Thank you. And Maria, how about you?
So I definitely have a unique, rather unconventional educational journey to get here. I earned my undergraduate degree in Spanish, French, and international studies. I went back to school a year later and got my associate's degree in computer engineering technology. After that, I worked for 7 years in HVAC, both as a systems designer and controls technician. And yeah, I just kind of felt like I really loved that work, but it just wasn't the right fit anymore. And I really wanted to get into renewables. So I wanted to come back to school. Let's see, most meaningful thing, I mean, really most of mine just echo what Shirag and Vedant were saying is I feel like up until graduate school, so much of what you're learning in your courses is kind of just building the foundation. And so a lot of times you're in classes where you're like, all right, this is kind of interesting, but not really what I want to do, but I know I have to do it. And then once you get to grad school, everything is directly applicable to what field you want to go into. And yeah, I had never had that experience before of every single class I have has a big term project, which can be a little overwhelming. So manage your time appropriately. But it's really great to get hands-on experience, and it's wonderful when you're applying and interviewing for jobs that, you're not just giving a theoretical, this is what I learned in a textbook, but I can say, hey, one of my projects last semester, for example, I designed a unit commitment problem over 3 different utility districts with 80 different power plants, and I figured out what the algorithm needed to be to effectively distribute energy and all the power needs at that time. So like I said, challenging, but really, really rewarding to do something that's, exactly what I want to be doing for my career. And then most meaningful outside of the classroom was definitely the community. And I've found the professors here are so knowledgeable. And if you put in the work, they're so willing to help you succeed. I am one of those students who basically lives at office hours because there's always something that I'm like, okay, I didn't quite get this, or that piqued my curiosity. Can you tell me more about this or that? And they're always there to help you and give any more answers to any questions you might have.
Awesome. All right. And working, maybe looking at I think we'll just wrap up with another pairing of questions. What do you wish someone would have told you before going to graduate school? And then what advice would you give? And I think Maria, you sort of already you dipped your toe into time management. So we'll start there and work our way back through. Yeah.
Yeah. So what someone had told me before, what I wish somebody had told me before graduate school is, I feel like up until this point, in high school, you're just trying to get good grades so you can get into a good college for your undergraduate. And then undergraduate degree, you're kind of figuring out what you want to do, but you mostly need to make sure you get good grades and get into grad school. And at this point, grades absolutely matter. You need to do really well in your classes, but it's also, you're now at this next step where you're trying to figure out where you want to go in your career. So you need to make sure that you're prioritizing there are so many networking opportunities on campus between career fairs and getting involved with different student organizations. And also, as Sarah said, there are a number of companies actually directly on campus that are always out and about. So it's really important to get involved in some of those opportunities to make sure you can make that next step. For example, I'm part of a professional organization that's called 690 Triangle. And so 690 refers to the part of the NEC code for solar professionals. And we meet once a month or so, and without fail, I always have a huge project or assignment or exam the next day. And it's really easy to just say, oh, no, I'll skip it. I'll go next time. But it's like, no, it's really important to build these relationships. And it's also helpful to get different perspectives of what people are actually doing with their jobs. So you can start to figure out, this is what I want to do, or this might not be quite it. Let's take a slightly different direction. And then, the advice to give is absolutely time management. You can't do school 24/7. Sleep is important. Exercise is important. Having a little bit of a social life is important. And recognizing, honestly, this is something I still struggle with, is the days where I'm like, okay, I've got a whole day. I'm going to spend 14 hours doing all the school things. And then I'm just like, I just can't do it today. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, that means I need to take a break and go outside and go for a walk or go read a book, go take a nap, and then come back to school later. It'll still be there.
You got it. Right on, right on. All right, Hirag, what do you wish someone would have told you? And what advice would you give to be successful in our program?
Yeah, I think first thing I wish somebody would have told me that this entire journey is not going to be easy. It's definitely going to be a roller coaster ride. It's like going to be, I like this analogy of drinking from a fire hose. Like you're going to get a lot of information that you have to digest very quickly. So nobody ever told me that it's going to be this difficult. I wish somebody did tell me that because especially as an international student, like you're moving to a new country, you're like literally restarting your life from opening your first bank account to getting SSN, etc., etc. So it's like an entire restart to your life and career. And then I wish somebody also told me that depth and breadth both are important at least when you're starting off your career. What I mean by that is like, for example, in my I'm focusing on VLSI. Like, it's good to go deep in VLSI, but also focus my breadth in like learning something about firmware, compilers, etc., etc. And I think it's also good to balance your extracurriculars and academics because it's really important to do things you love and then celebrate those small wins in the process. And also, nobody told me that I'm going to get self-doubt on the way. Like there were so many times when I doubted myself, thinking that why did I even come here? Like, is it actually for me? But I think through the process, you'll eventually evolve out of it and really think of the decision. They really think that the decision you made was really good. And then to be successful, I think first thing would be to definitely start your homework, project, assignments, quizzes, and any submission for that matter early because especially in the ECE department, you're going to be working with a lot of tools, as I mentioned previously, and you cannot, not have errors on these tools. And especially if you try starting late, you're definitely not going to make it on time. And then, if you guys have read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talks about how network is your net worth. So I would highly suggest do a lot of networking. Your friends might advise you against this, but attend every career fair, every company tech talk. Every company tech talk is indirectly a hiring event, in my opinion. So I would really advise you to attend every possible hiring kind of event out there. And I think also you should use office hours to the fullest because there are so many things that I learned outside class in the office hours, be it project help, or also it could be helping debugging your projects. So I think these are some things I would advise anybody coming to NC State.
Awesome. Thank you. And Baden, how about you? Any words of wisdom? What do you wish somebody would have said to you before you
Yeah,
got?
sure. Yeah, so other fellow panelists like summarized it very well. So I always tell that like a master's program would look like a juggling act where you will juggle between multiple things. You will have your part times, your projects, your daily classes to attend. So there are so many activities to be done. So regarding the advice, like what someone can do better in early stages, prioritize the things very well, plan the things because I can understand most of you are international student. It will take some time to adapt or adopt to the new environment around you here. So things might escalate and like get out of the control. So because the pace of the coursework is going to be very fast, and that's going to be a challenge, and this challenge are really helpful to push your boundaries and uh, get something really good out of it. So you might need to unlearn many things because the education system from which you are coming would be different compared to what we are going to have here. It will be very practical oriented. We'll be having 2 3 projects for each course, and that actually gives a real learning to you because you will learn the real skills which are really helpful in your day-to-day job, in your life for the next 20 30 years. So you might need to unlearn many things and gain the new skill sets, adapt to the new education system, and set the pattern which you will do definitely to excel in this program. uh, Time management and prioritization of the task is prime important. I learned this after coming over here. If you miss out on a one class, then it will pile up because you won't be able to understand what is being taught in the next class. So you need to be in sync with the coursework which is being planned and which is ongoing right now. So that's really important, I feel. And graduate school is all about taking the ownership, exploring the opportunities. You can like participate in the hackathons. This will help you to grow technically and professionally. And regarding the advice, to be successful, you can like apply all this things in your day-to-day things, but you can also explore the other opportunities, uh, be it on campus or off campus. Spend times with your friends, because the bonding that you are going to create, it's that will last forever. This is what I believe. I have many friends now, and uh, people actually help you to like open up the different perspectives in many ways. You have very strong infrastructure available, so make use of that. Talk to the professors, get the career guidance, uh, and have patience. So patience is a very important thing over here. Patience is a key, because at a times you might feel that things are not working out, but uh, give some time, things will fall in line, be it related to the academics or the job interviews, internship interviews. So plan the things, and have some patience. That will work out in your favor. Overall, master's journey would look like an adventure, but it's a worth taking this adventure. Trust me, that's going to definitely change you as a person in all aspects holistically. So this is what I would like to summarize regarding our journey, and different kind of activities that you can implement in your day-to-day life to be successful.
Fantastic. I wish I was as good at all of those things as you all mentioned. So, did I hear a question? Did I hear?
Sarah, there's some questions on the chat.
Yeah. Think a lot of them, let's see, how did NC State facilities help you in securing the internship? Well, you all, career services office. We start with everything from what am I going to do with my life, all the way through to offer negotiation. I got a job. I've been laid off. I need to get another job. We support all of that and everything in between. How to write a resume, how to do a cover letter, how to participate in interviews, how to revisit it if you didn't do well in the interview. We have a actually technical interview training panel this evening by one of our companies. So we have a whole host of companies that partner with the electrical and computer engineering department. We have 1,300 ECE specific students that come to our ECE only career fair in the fall of each year. So not college level, not all employers, but ECE specific. It's a pretty impressive thing if I do say so myself. But again, 420 companies at the college level fair, 6,000 attendees, again, largest in the Southeast. So lots of things to plug into. And that was sort of the point I think that Maria, Chirag, Vedant, thank you, all three made for you. There are so many things to take advantage of, so many things to do here. So patience and time management and balance, all things we're here to support you in doing. There are 10 specific ECE student organizations you can plug into to meet people, make friends, get involved. A large graduate student association with an ECE specific group focused just for graduate students. A large student population focused on supporting those coming from international countries to get acclimated, sharing rides to and from the airport, sharing roommate situations, all kinds of things are really here for you. But please reach out and ask those questions. I think we've said, let's see, you're going to get the Word document that was open. Dr. Franzon said if you were an admitted student, computer science stream at the undergrad level to ECE, very common. The coding with the hardware is, in my opinion, the best blend. So Mercedes-Benz R&D. We have courses in autonomous driving, plenty of graduates at NVIDIA, Tesla, Qualcomm, working in all of those spaces, and other companies as well. Lots of folks in the autonomous driving space. So yeah, I think that's
There was
all.
a question about what is the possibility of average MS student to get TARA and other funding opportunities. The probably getting a TA and RA are fairly low, frankly. I'd say about 20%. There are other opportunities across campus for paid employment, ranging from food services, which is easy to get but doesn't pay that great, through to helping the library, tutoring athletes, opportunities like that, which you'll have access to. But don't come here planning to get a TA and fund your if you don't if you and funding your a master's program with a TA. Other questions, please, or Sarah, or was next to the panel.
Yeah, I just wanted to let it wrap. So if we have any other final questions, and then we can certainly let our panelists go back to maybe back to sleep and back to work, back to things you need to do. We really appreciate the three of you and your time, energy, and really fantastic words of wisdom to our prospective students.
No, thanks very much for joining us today. I really appreciate it as well.
Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And to all students, feel free to connect to any one of us on LinkedIn, or you can connect to Sarah and all the professors. So thanks a lot, Sarah, once again.
Absolutely. Please do feel free to reach out. We're all on LinkedIn. I'm happy to answer any other questions you have. You're in a really exciting spot. It's like we've all said, it's challenging, but awesome. So great. And I can say this as a person who has not gotten enough sleep the last 3 days. I still feel great enthusiasm for this program.
Love it.
Okay, well, that reaches the end of our session. I'll hang back a few minutes, but thank you very much, everyone, for participating today. We had quite a rich attendance from prospective students. So thank you very much for taking the time to join us, and thanks very much for your interest in joining us well in NC State. I look forward to seeing you in fall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sahi asked, and it's okay. Question is, only the tape out course is new? No, there are new courses that come up every semester. Right now, we're introducing new courses in wide bandgap semiconductors, for example. And that's often on the special topics list, particularly machine learning. It's a very fast changing area, so often introducing new courses in machine learning. On average, do students take 3 semesters or 4 semesters to complete the course? It's a 50-50 split. About half take 3 semesters and about half take 4 semesters. Though Ginger just commented that 4 is more common. Thanks very much, Ginger. Can you repeat what you just said about TA? Okay. Ginger, do you know how many TAs we had from the Masters pool this semester?
Very few
Yeah,
from
I'd
the
say.
master's pool. There are hourly, maybe some master's TAs, but very few. I don't have the number.
Yeah, I don't have the number either, but I say less than 20 out of 70 odd TAs and 500 odd master's students. So then there are opportunities. Like I said, it's easy to get a job in food services, but that doesn't pay that well. There are other well-paid jobs across campus, including the library, including tutoring athletes and things like that. But they're outside our domain, so I don't know how many students get those.
Yeah, a lot of our students I see at the gym too.
Oh, okay. There's a very good gym on campus, though. I actually don't use it. I go to a private gym. Any new professors who joined NCS you'd like to mention about their research areas? We are recruiting the new professors right now across machine learning, semiconductors, and power systems. But we haven't made decisions yet, and they haven't made decisions, so I can't particularly comment. But over 60 professors, constant turnover, 5 or so new professors each year. There's a lot of new research areas popping up. What will you consider when considering candidates for TAs and RAs? RAs up to individual faculty. What they're really looking for is research potential. So you have to, that's how you engage with faculty for RAs. TAs is up to the department. What we mainly look for are grades, are good grades in the courses that we need TAs in. We have by the way, we have a research page. It doesn't highlight new professors, though our news feed would. But the research page does just talk about the research areas. With over 200 research projects in the department, I really can't present a summary of this beyond the one I presented with the pictures. Mechatronics robotic systems. We are actually hiring in that area. So we had a robotics professor who just retired, and we're hiring to replace him. So at this stage, it's a little hard to say what I'd say unless the hire works out and it goes through the potential for doing a master's thesis in robotics is low. Mechatronics, we have a joint program with mechanical engineering. But really right now it's Hale, it's more mechanical engineering than over here. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. That reaches the end of our session. And thanks very much for my colleagues for joining us today. I'll just hang back a couple of minutes. I know a lot of people just stay logged in accidentally.
Thanks, Paul. You all have a good day today.
Thank you, you too. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for organizing the panel.
Okay, gotta go to class. Thanks for everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Ginger. Thanks so much for joining us.